Spaceship Earth.
Yeah, spaceship. Yeah, Bucky Fuller. Bucky Fuller. Yeah, Bucky Fuller, of course.
Something had to come through there.
In 1969, Bucky Fuller had published his book, Operating Manual for Spaceship Earth, and that image came in very big. That was the same year that human beings landed on the moon, and that concept became very popular. And of course, we also had the notion of exploring space, but that's our exploring space is very puny. It was helpful, in terms of like how large the galaxy is and how far you'll ever get, with the kind of instrumentation that we have. That's what I mean by it's very puny. But also this idea that the Earth is a spaceship and that we are exploring space, again, is a function of this 1260 timing frequency, in which we haven't really examined what the nature of time is. What does it really mean to explore time? H.G. Wells wrote an interesting science fiction story about the time machine, and people have played with that. But again, that's somewhat missing the point. In actuality, what we've discovered is that we are traveling through time. And if you stop and reflect about that a little bit, it kind of makes sense. Okay. Though again, it's something that hasn't been thought of before or talked of before.
We're traveling through time.
We're traveling like time is an ocean, the galactic ocean of fourth dimensional time. We are traveling through that, and that's why we have different phases, like different periods in the evolution of the planet. You find why there were dinosaurs at one point. Again, it gets back to this timing frequency situation, and why you have Homo sapiens arising 26,000 years ago, and why civilization then arises 5,000 years ago, and then why industrialism happened 200 years ago. Well, we're traveling through time, and we're in some ways, the way the Dreamspell describes it is that originally all the humans on this planet knew their mission, but through the process of developing the 1260 civilization, we have developed a great deal of amnesia. So at this point, we're virtually a planet of amnesiacs, and the Dreamspell is also looked at as an inoculation against the virus of amnesia, which has affected us.
Yeah, I want to speak about this amnesia because it's amnesia simply of our third to fourth dimensional hookup. So in the Dreamspell role-playing game, you've got your third-dimensional physical body, which is actually your spacesuit. So as you're moving through time on planet Earth, you're inhabiting this spacesuit. Now the fourth-dimensional counterpart is your holon. That's a new word, holon. That's the part of you that is completely autonomous and is not limited to the physical plane, but actually it could be compared to like your soul, your energy body. There's lots of work being done in recent years about the fact that we're more than just this physical body. And even with medicine, the more we've cut into the body, the more we understand there's a lot about the whole body system that we haven't really looked at. So a lot of the activity around time is understanding that our body itself has its own natural timing frequencies. And in living by clock time, which is literally clockwise, we've pretty much wound ourselves up as humans on the planet. We've pretty much got a planet on complete overload, wound up in a clockwise knot. And what we're talking about at the time shift, July 26, 1992, is a release into a counterclockwise revolution, where we return ourselves in a released manner to the 13 lunations, the 13 moons, of a timing frequency that's much more in accord with the Earth. So the frequency of 13 moons and our 20 fingers and toes, 1320. It's like getting in touch with our own natural rhythms. The Dreamspell as a toolkit has a way to actually access the fourth dimension. So there's nothing abstract about it. It's role-playing. Just like when you play with a computer, you know you have to have a password to enter on your computer system. Well, the Dreamspell is the software for your human computer. And it's only you who can actually run the control panel on your own computer system. An update. Software for your human computer.
Yeah, actually, and we'll just, I don't know when we'll ever open up that boxed kit.
Yeah,
we'll get to that boxed kit, don't worry. What the Dreamspell Kit was produced, came out in November of 1991, and that's when we realized we got the message that we were supposed to be planetary pilgrims and start riding this wave. But we've been to a number of places. We were 4 weeks in Mexico in the month of February, and we had a lot of very interesting dialogues with many different people there, including an ex-president of Mexico, Luis Echeverria, as well as executives of IBM Latin America, whom we demonstrated the Dreamspell to, and got rave reviews as to the truthfulness of what we're talking about, and the truthfulness that we have discovered the fourth dimensional timing mechanism, which governs our own evolution, and which also is the beckoning to the next stage of our development. Now, in that process, we also realized, particularly after our conversations with the executives of IBM Latin America, that the Dreamspell actually is another information revolution. The first information, it's the fifth one. The first information revolution, you could say, was the development of symbolic, pictographic symbols, whatever that type of script or writing, and then the second information revolution was the invention of different types of alphabets, okay, of written word, okay, of writing in that form, which is much more conceptual. And with each information revolution, you have a change also in consciousness and perceptual field of the species using that information technology. The third one, of course, was the actual printed word, the mechanization of the written word, which came about in the 15th century, just before the Gregorian calendar was established. And the fourth information revolution was the computer, which brought information to a level of virtual instantaneity. And finally, we have the Dreamspell, in which the information is returned to the human organism in communication and communion with its holon, because the information is actually already, we're realizing the information is already encoded. The Dreamspell is a perfect aesthetic and mathematical form, because it's here to put back into the harmonic phase that our DNA has been out of for the last up to 5,000 years, and certainly intensely in the last 400 years. And so the harmonic codes of the Dreamspell are the possibilities of returning our own biological programming to a higher phasing, a higher synchronicity, in which we discover that we are the information revolution.
You say the DNA code can be more activated by playing Dreamspell?
Yes, because the Dreamspell, for two basic reasons. One, the movements of the Dreamspell are counterclockwise. We have been involved in clockwise movements very intensely.
Something as basic as that.
Something as basic as that. That all of our, you could say that since the scientific revolution, every single revolution on this planet has been a clockwise revolution, whether it was the Industrial Revolution, the American Revolution, the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, the Chinese, the Mexican, or the Cuban revolutions, as well as whatever social revolutions, have all involved a clockwise acceleration. Each one is built on the other, and things have become more and more accelerated. So we're accelerated into gridlock, basically, at this point. The Dreamspell is a counterclockwise revolution. It's going the other direction, and something as simple as that is a reprogramming and a re-imprinting, so that when you use the galactic compass, or everything you read in the Dreamspell is going counterclockwise. It's going from right back to left instead of from left to right. Secondly, all of the forms of the Dreamspell, as well as the color patterns, are all a perfect harmonic. They are the perfect harmonic of the fourth dimensional mathematics of the radial matrix, of which Lloydine spoke a short bit ago. And this, just by immersing oneself in this harmonic and following and returning to the way of the 13 moons and going back to being in phase with the Earth, again, yeah, that affects that's affecting the whole DNA, the frequency of our DNA program, and we are making an adjustment on the program. Like I said, the Dreamspell is a color-coded intelligence test for humanity at this time, because humanity's got a problem, and this is one way to begin to look at how we can deal with the problem and work with the problem.
Is it possible that demonstrate the counterclockwise principle to a video audience?
Sure.
Yes, there certainly is a way to. Right, exactly. So, the cover of the Dreamspell Toolkit, Dreamspell, The Journey of Time Ship Earth 2013. As you zoom in on the central point, you'll see the Hunab Ku. It's the one giver of movement and measure. In the center of this shield of the Galactic Federation, all the codes are rooted in a color system where, as we move out on the mandala, you'll see that to your right is the red, up to the left. As you're looking at it? Which way are you, the viewer, seeing it? Let's do it again.
Yeah, it's to the left.
No, it's to the right. See, I was doing it right there. I'm a dancer. I'm used to doing stage right and stage left, right? So that was it. No, okay, let's start again. Okay, let's have a picture here of the whole galactic shield. And as you look at it, you'll see that the color code goes, the counterclockwise movement goes always with a beginning point in the red, and then moves to the white, and then to the blue,
Sort of like this.
and then to the yellow.
This direction, like this.
Exactly. The counterclockwise movement, it always begins with red, goes to white, to blue, to yellow, and when it hits a fifth point, the green comes in. The green, this is also color theory. You can see you've got your primary colors there. Red,
Let's level up in the spiral. It's
you
like
got
a
it.
spiral.
You got it. Because you get to the blue and yellow, then you get your first complex color with the green in the center. So let's go ahead and open the kit and get the parts out. Jose, you can take the cover off here.
And the winner is
Right.
Human race.
Right. So again, this is your user's manual, the operator's manual. On the cover again, the Galactic Shield, and as I show you the parts, the first sweep through, I'm going to show you how everything is color-coded. You always begin with the red. So we're going to move. Good. Okay. Oh, that was very helpful. Thank you. Great. So this is the operator's manual, and it also contains what's called the Book of Kin, in which are registered 260 galactic signatures. Because
The Galactic Epic of Free Will. That's very important. It's the
Book
Book
of
of Kin, the Galactic Epic of Free Will, because this is all about the right use of free will.
So you'll see in a minute a tool called the Galactic Compass, which enables you to dial up your galactic signature. So recorded in the Book of Kin are 260 galactic signatures. Again, you'll see the color pattern. It goes from red to blue, red, white, blue, yellow. That color sequence continues throughout. And there is a printout and a readout on each galactic signature, and it's all according to a mathematical code. So I think we'll continue from the book on to what's called the quick reference cards.
Well,
So
these are characters in the story?
They're characters. There's 20 characters.
Yeah, there's 20 solar seals which represent the 20 tribes of time. Okay, what we're dealing with is a new Genesis that does not have any wrathful God, but is the Genesis of the Galactic Federation. And in the Genesis, there are 20 solar tribes, the 20 solar tribes of time who came to, the fourth dimensional tribes who came to colonize and set a lonely distant star into its proper resonant course. And this lonely distant star, called Kinich Ahau, is to reach its point of galactic synchronization in what amounts to our calendar year AD 2013. So it's a mystery play, because your 2013, your 20 tribes of time, and your 13 galactic moons show up again just in the fact that we have the deadline to finish playing the game is the year 2013. So if it's a color-coded IQ test, you have lots of time in some ways to get it together and figure it out. And the more people figure it out right now, the easier it'll be for you to figure it out later, so don't sweat it.
So how do you two have fun with this?
well, I want to just take you over to the mathematical code side of this, just to
Okay.
show you that this is
Serious,
the
so
galactic, well, the galactic notation here, just so you see
Okay.
the harmony of the pattern.
Okay.
If you show on one side the Arabic write-out of the numbers 0 through 19.
Okay.
Okay, everyone's familiar with looking at those Arabic numbers. Now, in the galactic system, everything's written in a dot and bar code, and there's a third symbol, the 0. So as you move through here, I'm going to show you if you can zero in on the center of the grid.
You mean right around here?
Yeah, this is like in a sense, a mathematical chip that was culled and pulled out of the Mayan mathematic system. And in this system, there's a demonstration of the radial matrix, so that everything goes out from a center point. So there's actually a rhythm in the pattern of this matrix, where on this column you have the no bar family, you've got a 1 bar family, a 2 bar family, and a 3 bar family. If you want to read it across this way, you've got no dot family, 1 dot family, 2 dot family, 3 dot family, 4 dot family. In other words, there's not a linear actual sequence to this, there's a radial matrix where the pattern runs in all directions simultaneously. And another aspect is any of the opposite points when added together equal 19. That's why this is called the 0 to 19 galactic notation.
It looks like you're just counting, but it's actually a code. In fact, this code was sitting under my nose for many years because this reproduced in different books. This is to show you how the Maya were on a vigesimal, or a system of 20, as opposed to decimal system of 10, which we're on. It's actually more streamlined, sophisticated notation system than ours, since our system here that we use has 9 different characters to write the numbers. This one you only use 3. So it's much more sophisticated and streamlined in that way. But it was sitting under my nose for many years. But when I discovered that it's actually a type of magic square that has the 19 encoded in it, then that's when the system began to open up, and we began to unravel from that. Now, that's the quick reference card. You saw the quick reference card. You saw the user's manual, the book of Kin. You saw the galactic shield. Now, if you look at this, you got your galactic compass. The Galactic Federation. The Galactic Federation wants to make sure that if we're entering into 4th dimensional time, that everybody has a compass and knows how to navigate. Okay, so the purpose of this compass is to know how to navigate. This side of the slipcover shows you the journey, the 26-year journey from 1987 to 2013. Okay, that's what you're looking at on this side. You have 13 years from 1987 to 1999 to complete the clockwise motion of 1260 time, and then we get to the pole shift. It's nothing scary. That's just all the telephone poles go. We need that. Okay. Then we shift into counterclockwise time. Okay. So we have 13 years to test drive the time shift. Once we see that this clockwise time, the first 5 years from 1987 to 91 is the reversal of history, the end of the Cold War, the beginning of the destructuring of the political thoughts and belief systems that we now have. From 1992, where we are now, the time shift, to 1995 over here, that's when we begin the intense Earth detoxification program. We have to detoxify the Earth, which is we have to detoxify ourselves. Then when we get to 1996, and we begin to get ready for the next phase, which is not only is it not just a matter of detoxifying the Earth or having a campaign for the Earth where we have a who can clean up the Earth the fastest sweepstakes campaign led by the kids. Then we have here's the cultivation of our pleasure centers, because when we go into the 4th dimension, pleasure is what counts. Okay, and it's the weekend and the 7-day week and so on has cut us off, and this belief system has cut us off from experiencing the level of pleasure which our evolution naturally disposes us to. So the
Hedonic
13-year test ride of the time shift then takes us up through 2012, and then on July 26, 2013, on the day Galactic Seed, that the star system has its synchronizations, galactic synchronization, the resonant point at which our star goes into its next evolutionary phase, in which the whole system, the whole solar system, goes into its next evolutionary phase. And as we'll find out by playing Dreamspell, we have a very interesting role to play. On the other side is your 13-moon calendar, 13 perfect moons. You see, this is a conversion template. The 7 days of the week will be kept for 8 years, according to the Dreamspell, so that people can get their accounts straight. Okay. And once they've got their account straight, they won't need that anymore. And then this is the wave spell form right here that you're looking at. This is the new unit of measure, is the wave spell, which contains the 13-tone cosmology. It starts with the magnetic moon, then the lunar, the electric, the self-existing, and then you hit the overtone moon. That's the overtone fifth. Then you go to the rhythmic, the resonant, the galactic, and then you hit another place. These are two towers, the overtone tower, the solar tower. Then you go to the solar moon, planetary moon, spectral moon, crystal moon, and finally the cosmic moon. Then you have Green Day, the extra, the jubilation day, which occurs on the equivalent to the Gregorian calendar on the 25th of July. I'm going to give this to you in just a second. I'm going to set you up. I'm going to set you up.
From one to the other? You throw dice or?
No, that's what we're going to show
I'm
you.
going to show you.
You jump the gun. This is the.
Why is this a slip? This is a slip cover. It says it's a galactic compass because you need a galactic compass.
Right, right.
You can't do it without a compass.
Because, yeah,
Galactic compass.
the galactic compass, so the 20 solar seals that we showed you in the beginning are on a ring of the compass. And July 26th is the conversion day where on the back of this compass there is a galactic ephemeris which shows you the readout for the date July 26th. And each ring of this ephemeris is 52 years. So every 52 years you have a precise synchronization of the galactic calendar with the current Gregorian calendar. So that means your galactic signature, the day you were born, won't show up again on your Gregorian birthday until you're 52 years old. So in 52 years, you go through many sequences. You don't just stay in one place. So to use the galactic compass, the first thing to know is that every date that's listed on the back has a tone number and one of the 20 solar seals. And there are 4 solar seals which always occur on the date July 26th. And they're shown over here on your galactic compass slipcover.
July 26th is always going to be either a moon, a red moon, a white wizard, a blue storm, or a yellow seed. This July 26, 1992, the time shift point, will be the day 13 storm, blue cosmic storm. There's a cosmic storm a-coming.
So you can see right up here, here's 1992, it's the year Crystal Wizard. 1993 that we're moving into will be the year Blue Cosmic Storm. So the color sequence I described at the beginning runs through everything. So July 26th follows a color pattern. For a whole year then is covered by a red, the next year is white, the next year is blue, the next year is yellow. And that sequence continues. So for example, if you're born on a red seal, then every 4 years you get back to red again. So that's how now to get your galactic signature, you need to know your date of birth,
So it's like
obviously.
astrology in that sense? Or?
In the sense that there's a way to go from your current calendar system into the galactic
Do you
calendar.
find your entry point?
Your entry point.
That's like-
You got
that's
it.
what she
You
says,
got
like
it.
your password.
So why don't we take
Okay.
your birthday as an example?
Okay. October 14th, 52.
Okay, October 14th, 1952. I have to put on my glasses.
I can find it, and then you can
find
stay
it.
vain.
Right.
Take your glasses off. I'll find it here. Okay, so October 14th, 1952. We look for 1950. Since October 14th is after July 26th, we can stay with the same year.
Okay.
So we find here 1952, and we read out to the edge. It says 12 storm. Okay, 12 storm. So that means that July 26th of 1952 was the day 12 storm. We can look then on our quick reference card and find that 12, 2 bars and 2 dots, 12, 12. There you go. Okay.
Correlation.
Right.
Okay. So then you want to line up the
2, 2.
12. You want to get on your, this is, the green ring is the correlate dates. In bold are days that are 20 days apart. And these are the correlate dates, okay?
Okay.
In any year, then that's how, those are the ones, those are like little shafts or gears that come in from the galactic into the solar calendar, okay? So you find your 12, yes?
And every one of these correlate dates then for that year is also the solar seal storm.
Yep. So this is a storm year, so all of these correlate dates will be a storm day. A wizard year, they will all be wizard dates. Okay, so there we are, 12, and we want to look for your correlate date, which is, look at you, you're 1014, right? Okay, but now we run into the next rule, which is literally the rule of thumb. When you're looking for a correlate date on the yellow ring where you have your galactic tones and your yellow ring runs out, this is part of the programming thing we're talking about. You want to put your thumb on the first blank position just to the left of that 7, okay? And then you just take your yellow ring and bring the 1 so it's right under your thumb. And you know then that October 14th, 1952 was galactic tone 1, and you want to harmonize your tones, so you go to your wave spell ring here.
Match the tones.
And match the tones. The one, you know, it's a
1-1, so you match the 1 with
with
the wave
the
spell
1.
ring is the next
Okay,
one.
that's what this white ring here is. And then you go to the day ring. Now we've gone from the solar calendar up here, the Gregorian solar calendar. These dates here are your moon calendar dates. Once we get on the moon calendar, we'll be using these dates. But this is your solar, in any case, your green ring that takes you from the solar calendar. Now, down here, we're in the galactic calendar, okay? And we know that it's a storm year, and we're on a 1 there, so we want to line up the storm. The storm looks like
You look for the icon
that
for
guy
the storm.
right there. So you look for that icon, which is right.
1-1. Now, how do you know it's a storm year? 1-1?
Because at
on
the back, when we looked up 1952,
it said 12,
Oh,
12 storm.
Okay, then you use the storm there for that next.
All right, see.
for that, and that's
then-
called the Galactic Gateway.
That's a galactic
Coming
gateway.
through, finding October 14th was the nearest correlate date. In your case, it was your birthday,
Yeah.
October
So-
14th, and that Galactic Gateway then that we've lined up here is a storm, because that date is
Yeah,
then
you're,
one
so you're
storm.
right there. Your birthday was on a correlate date, so it's clear to see that then your galactic gateway was 1 storm, and now we want to secure the wave spell so we can locate you in the Book of Kin. Okay,
And
and
also
get your
put you on
galactic
the journey
signature.
board.
Okay, 'cause
Okay.
now all we find right now is the
Yeah.
galactic gateway. So to secure the wave spell, all you want to do is match this icon.
Okay.
Wherever the 1 is on the white ring, match the icon beneath it with the matching icon right there.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so this shows you that you're in the storm wave spell too. Okay,
Huh.
the one is always the leader of the wave spell and gives the name to the wave spell. So it's 1 storm. It's a storm year, and you're in a storm. You're in the storm wave spell, and it shows you down here, right here. This white ring shows you that you're in the white castle. This ring here is your castle ring. There's a red castle, a white castle, a blue castle, a yellow castle, and a green castle.
Which I'm
this
now
shows
going
you
to
you're
show you.
in the white castle. So we're going to look for you in the white castle.
So I'm
Huh.
going to take you now to the journey
Okay.
board
Huh.
and show you how the castles move. So here's the red castle. Which comes first? It's here. Sorry, we're going to look at the castles first. So we have a red castle, then we have a white castle of time, we have a blue castle,
Yeah.
a yellow castle, and a green castle.
Green Central Castle. We have a recollection of the Green Central Castle in the Wizard of Oz, in the Emerald City of Oz. It was some kind of faint recollection that that's where we're supposed to be at this time, but we ain't there yet. Okay.
In the garden. So now this is a visual tracking process that you learn with the dream spell. So let's just take a minute to go back
So
and
I'd be in
see
the White Castle.
exactly.
Yeah.
Let's go back and look again where we landed you when we looked up October 14th. So if you can zero in on that. And then you'll see the white band immediately under the blue storm. So look up here now on the white castle until you find where that 1 position of the wave spell with that storm icon is right there. So this is your position out of the 260 days, which in the dream spell are called kin. There's 260 kin. You're in the white castle.
So this is where I begin?
Yeah, this is where you came in on the journey board. If you look at the journey board is the depiction of the galactic spin. Okay, the 260-day galactic spin. And you can look at it in a very holographic form. Okay, like this. This is what we mean by the radial matrix.
And that the 4th dimensional time, here open
This
the
is
side flaps.
non-linear
Look at this
time.
here. Now take a minute
Okay.
to look at this as the 260 kin galactic spin. Like we got some shadows there.
So this, that's all the houses.
Yeah, all the castles.
The
And
castles.
Each castle consists of 4 wave spells.
And remember I used the phrase radial matrix?
Yeah.
Well, this is an example
Always.
of time as the radial matrix. So this 260-day pattern repeats over and over again, and it takes 52 years before it synchronizes with the Gregorian calendar. So it's
where
a
you came
52-year
in,
cycle.
where you came in, Alan, was right here. You were at the storm position in the White Castle. It means that you were the leader of this, that the storm position heads off this blue wave spell. As you can see, each castle there's a red, a white, a blue, and a yellow. The same color pattern over and over again.
And let's hold it
Red,
back and look at the whole
white,
picture again.
blue, yellow.
So that
Okay,
you,
so once I know where I came into the
Then-
game, then what do I do with that?
Okay, here, just a minute. We're not there yet. Okay.
Right.
Various things.
more to you who you
Yeah.
are. It's
Okay. So remember,
I'm writing it down.
this is
Okay.
what you're doing with here is like this is
Yeah.
this is a code breaking. Remember, this is a color coded IQ test for humanity. It's a code breaking.
No doubt.
Okay.
Now hold it
Code
real
breaking.
still.
I feel
test.
it.
Okay.
Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to find what your actual galactic signature is. Okay.
Okay.
So you know that it's your 1 storm on the journey board.
Storm on the
1
white.
storm. Okay. So you want to look up on this. This is your harmonic index. This is the magic
This is the
index.
next,
Okay. You look for storm, and you look right down there. You see storm.
Let's see. Storm. There it is. Right.
Okay.
What
The storm position heads off this blue wave spell. As you can see, each castle there's a red, a white, a blue, and a yellow. The same color pattern over and over again.
And let's
Here,
hold it
red,
back and look at the whole
white,
picture again.
Blue, yellow.
So
Okay,
that you,
so once I know where I came into the
Then-
game, then what do I do with that?
Okay, here, just a minute. We're not there yet. Okay.
Right.
Various things.
more to you who you
Yeah.
are. It's
Okay. So remember, this
I'm
is
writing it
this
down.
this is
Okay.
what you're doing with here is like this is
Yeah.
this is a code breaking. Remember, this is a color coded IQ test for humanity. It's a code breaking.
No doubt.
Okay.
Now hold it
Code
real
breaking.
still.
I feel it.
in on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to find what your actual galactic signature is, okay?
Okay.
So you know that it's your 1 storm on the journey board.
Storm on the
1
white.
storm. Okay, so you want to look up on this. This is your harmonic index. This is the magic
This is the
index.
next,
Okay. You look for storm, and you look right down there. You see storm.
Let's see. Storm. There it is. Right.
Okay.
Right after sun.
Okay, right. Yeah, right above sun there. And so you want to find storm, and you're looking for 1 storm. So you're going to go across here until, aha, there's 1. It's got a circle around it because it says magnetic gate. That's because it's the
Just
beginning.
Gate up here.
Right there. See? Okay, that's because over on the journey board you saw
Come
that.
back over here.
the
You're in
journey-
the 1 position of the
That's
wave
because
spell,
you're the leader of the
which
wave
is
spell.
called a magnetic gate.
So is that true for all the?
For every wave spell, the 13 positions are the same. It's what Jose read off when he was showing you the 13 moon calendar.
Right.
Also carries those same 13 positions.
Huh.
This is the 13-tone wave spell. It was
Okay,
also
so what this,
13
so you
tone.
see that 1 right there, that's where you're located in the harmonic index. If you look straight up, you'll see across here, this cross references you to the journey board, the 5 castles, the red castle, the white castle, the blue, the yellow, and the green. And sure enough, if you look up from where that 1 is down here, yeah, that cross
Right, with the white
references you
castle.
to the white castle, correct?
Yeah,
Now, if
right.
you look just straight up here to the large white band immediately above that 1, we'll see that number 20.
Mm-hmm.
That 20 means that in the Book of Kin, you will find your galactic signature in harmonic 20. There are 65 harmonics. Okay?
And so we move
Huh.
to the Book of Kin again.
Harmonic 20.
And so looking at the Book of Kin again, we're going to look at the top of the page where the harmonic number is until we find
20.
harmonic 20. Exactly. So here we go.
Searching
And it's going to
oneself.
start a
Mhm.
wave
Yes.
spell, so we're looking for that 1 position. Right. Aha, does that look familiar? The 1 dot there and the storm. Let's look again at the compass, so you'll see how this
See?
cross references.
Cross reference, see? 1.
There's your
Storm.
1 storm.
Right.
1
There's
storm.
the storm. Blue storm,
Right,
wave
so if
spell
you'd like to
7.
read out your galactic signature, the kin number tells you where your number is out of the 260 kin. So read that.
Okay, right here.
Yes.
I unify in order to catalyze.
attracting energy. I seal the matrix of self-generation with the magnetic tone of purpose. I'm guided by my own power doubled.
Do you remember we saw two storm solar seals?
The galactic signature is blue magnetic storm. So
Blue magnetic
that's your role-playing code name, blue magnetic storm.
Okay.
Okay.
Blue magnetic storm.
Okay, I'm blue spectral monkey, so we're in the blue family. Okay.
And I'm white solar wind.
White solar wind. Oh,
And
I
so
see.
now we're
Yeah.
playing
Yeah.
with blue magnetic
Yeah.
storm.
Okay, so we said the galactic signature is your password. Now you're on the time ship. And
So-
if you play a few more steps, then you'll be a member of the Galactic Federation. Batu, Bharata, Nikto, too.
Because now I'm going to show you how you also have chips to play with, because everybody knows when you play a game, it's good if you can actually have parts to play with. So in that envelope are two sets of solar seal chips that haven't been broken up yet.
Now we know we're
They're
positioned.
perforated.
You know
right.
who we are on the board. and
Yes.
we're
Exactly.
positioned.
So now these are the 20 solar seals, and they're in a perforated pattern, so these can actually be separated out into chips. And interestingly enough, this sequence is the same mathematical code as we saw in the very beginning on the quick reference card.
Oh.
So in other words, every solar seal has a code number on the back of it.
Oh.
Okay, so we're going to go back for a minute to the harmonic index, and then we're going to see how the oracle board, which is we were working with the journey board when we looked at the 5 castles, the red castle, the white castle, the blue castle, yellow castle, and green castle. Now we're going to look down the side of the harmonic index to see which time cell, and it turns out it's which part of the oracle board you're going to find where the storm destiny readout is. So we look here, we'll go back to where we had storm down here on this blue line across. We go across, and we're going to find you in the green leaf of the oracle board. So let's watch as we open the oracle
Time
board.
self-5 matrix self-regulate.
You got it.
Okay.
Now let's
Okay.
look at the oracle board, which has the galactic shield on the cover.
Yeah.
And as I open it, you'll see that the first leaf has a basic red background.
Mm-hmm.
Second leaf is the white background. Third leaf is the blue background. The yellow background. And then we find the central position in the green, the matrix. So we saw the green time cell where storm is. If you look at the back of your solar seal chip,
Well, here, first of all,
Yeah.
the back of your harmonic index tells you how to read the oracles. There's 20 oracles of destiny on this oracle board, and you read each one. You start with the center. That's where the destiny kin is. And then there's 4 other positions around it. You have an analog kin, which is your like-minded planetary power. You have an antipode kin, which is your challenge power. You have an occult kin, which is your hidden or unexpected power. Then you have your guide kin, which is your outcome power. Okay, so you know that you're from the harmonic index. You know that you are in the time cell 5. That's where storm is. It's the blue position in time cell 5. So if you look here, you have the red, the central. You look at the central point. You have the red position, the white position, the blue position, and the yellow. You're going to be the blue. Okay, you're in the blue position of time cell 5, and then you get where are those chips?
do we have them
Blue
in
is
your
my
box?
favorite color.
So,
we just had the chips.
yeah, but they're not cut out.
That's okay.
Do you have 'em?
We can
Okay,
show
we'll just
here that, okay, here's your storm chip right here. And if you look on the back, right there, it says storm catalyzes self-generation. And you look at that number, that notation number there, 3 bars, 4 dots. Look over here then.
You would just match
3 bars,
the chip.
4 dots. Okay, so that's your spot there, and that's your code spell. Storm catalyzes self-generation. Okay, when you're in a pinch, you want to give yourself your quick self-affirmation. Okay, self-generation.
And you're
okay?
also guided by your own power double, so you're a double storm. So the position above is what's called the guide position, and so you would refer to the compass to find out what goes in the blank above your solar seal destiny kin position.
You'd see
And here,
you'd see that you have your double storm. Okay, that's why it says guided by my own power doubled. So there's 2 sets of these chips for just precisely for situations like that. So you put 1 storm chip here, 1 storm chip here, your guiding power storm chip here. Then you could find what you're one of the cosmic ones, because you find your analog position, you would find by starting by looking for that. You look back here and you'd see this notation matches it. So your analog, your like-minded power is sun. Sun enlightens universal fire. That's your analog power. Then you could look for this one here. You want a red one. It's got a bar and 4 dots. Okay. If you look and find here, your bar and 4 dots is the moon. The moon purifies universal water. So you got universal fire on one side, you got with the sun, and you got the moon with universal water on the other side, and storm in the center catalyzing self-generation. And then you have your occult position, which is 2 dots. And one other thing, in that 9, you'll see that that's red. That moon matches up. It's a red. Okay, it's going to be red. That sun is going to be yellow down there. That's your sun, and that's your moon. Then you want a 2 dot, which is white. You look here. Here's your 2 dot. Turn around. Yep, that's white.
Wind communicates spirit.
Wind communicates spirit. So you're very elemental all the way, because you got double storm, then you got the sun, the moon, and the wind. You got the power of spirit, the power of self-generation, the power of universal fire, and the power of universal water. With that, plus being a magnetic gate, head of a wave spell, I don't want to boost your ego too much, but you better do something.
And I'll tell you, the Dreamspell is all about role-playing, where you claim all of your powers, and there is nothing that is dark or negative in the Dreamspell, because every planetary kin, and now actually you've become a planetary kin by identifying your galactic signature as blue magnetic storm. By identifying your galactic signature, you have enrolled in the Galactic Federation.
Okay. Okay, here.
So
just
now
a
we
couple.
can just show you on how the 2 boards are color-coded, so that I'm going to take you back to the journey board. And the outside of the journey board is actually coded to teach you more about that storm chip that you just used to do your destiny kin. So now you can can you get both of these in at the same
Step
time?
back.
So you can get the
So you can
flavor
see here.
of this is how you can map. You can now, with your storm chip, follow your way around these maps to see where all your relations are. This is all about mapping your relationships.
Yeah,
So
it
now,
is,
now
exactly.
come in and let's look at all the different places that storm occurs. Let's find storm down here in what's called the harmonic arrangement. Here is storm, and if you read it across as a horizontal band, you'll see you're a member of the blue transforming kin. You're in the blue family with your galactic signature. Remember, we did your time cell and we found out that yours was the green time cell? Remember time cell 5, the matrix time cell, self-regulate. So that's one arrangement where storm occurs. Up here is what's called the chromatic arrangement. Now this is the precise readout of when I showed you on the quick reference card this mathematical code where I showed you the no dot family, the 1 dot family, 2 dot family, 3 dot family. Well, each one of these code numbers is for one of the 20 solar seals. So now we're going to find an arrangement where everyone is a part of a chromatic family as well. And in this case, we're going to look for storm, and we find out you're in the blue chromatic, and you're in the sky clan.
Sky clan is the storm icon right here.
Exactly. And so you're a member of the Sky Clan, and you're in position in terms of the human body. The root transmits. So if you'd like to come down now and look at the human holon. Oh, and also you're in the gateway, what's called the gateway Earth family, because do you remember how when we looked on the compass to find out where you were, you were a correlate date. And that's because July 26th, and also every one of the correlate dates follows this pattern of going through these 4 solar seals. So it starts, in other words, when you were born on your birthday, October 14th, 1952, it was the day 1 storm. Now the next year on your birthday, you got to be 2 seed. The next year you were 3 moon. The next year 4 wizard. By the time you got to the next year, you were 5 storm.
When you were 4 years old, you were 5 storm.
So it cycled back.
So it takes 52 years.
Every 4 years, you hit the solar seal of your galactic signature, and every 13 years you hit the tone. Okay. It's 4 colors, 4 seals, and 13 tones. That gives you 52 years. And precisely on your 52nd birthday, it will be the day magnetic storm once
On
again.
October 14th.
In other words, October 14th in the year 2004, it will be magnetic storm. So that's when you have your galactic return. And galactic terms will be 1 year old.
Then you get to start all over again and have even more fun. So basically in the dream spell, it's all about having more fun and claiming as many elements of every day as you can. Now in the human hold-on level, remember I used the word hold-on to go with your 4th dimensional circuit.
Yeah.
In the 2013, we've got 20 digits, 20 fingers and toes. So there's actually a great learning device here in how you can learn that your blue sky clan is in your left sky foot. And so your position is in the little toe of your left foot.
My position.
As you're looking
in the
directly
human
at
hold-on.
this is your left
Yeah.
foot. Here's your left big toe,
I see.
index, middle, ring toe, and your little toe.
Oh, that's good for my ego.
Now
Yeah.
in your family,
yeah.
you run through the pinkies and little toes. So
Uh-huh.
from storm, you come up here to your left little finger.
This is your
You've
wizard.
got
pinky.
wizard.
This is your wizard finger right there. When you're in your white wizard year, that's it. When you're in your yellow seed year, you're right here. And then when you're in your red moon year, you're back down to your right little pinky toe. Okay.
And so in other words, the 20 digits, eventually you won't even need to have such a tool as this whole Dreamspell kit because you could actually keep track of time on your fingers and toes. And I suspect that that's how they used to keep calendar time.
Yeah,
The
no
fingers
doubt.
and toes were actually the
tools,
digital,
sure.
right, digital tool. Sorry.
No, digital, literally.
Right.
You can also, when you get more involved, when there's more people playing, then you get to the higher levels of the mystery play. You can, the Dreamspell Genesis, you can find, from here you'll notice that where your storm seal is, there's 4 dots over it. You'll notice that those positions there. So you're in the 4 dot family, okay? That's, which is the same as this Gateway Earth family. And so you can find over here in the Dreamspell Genesis, to find your position in the Genesis, you just look for a blue with 4 dots. There you go.
I'll turn it over
Okay.
right now so the camera can read that.
So solar, it says solar Pluto transmit S omega. Okay, and so that takes you into the mystery play. Okay, and so you know as you find other team members and players, then that will begin to, there'll be more discovery involved there, and you can also look at that. The Dreamspell Genesis show is basically gives you the history of the 26,000 year cycle. Okay, each one of these units starting right here, there's this red one and then the white and then the blue and the yellow. Each one of these units counts for 1,300 years.
It says enter here.
Yeah, enter here.
Yep.
That's where the cycle, that's where the journey
dragon.
of time ship Earth began. Right here at minus 23,987 Dreamspell years. That's where the 20 tribes of time incarnated on the time ship here on this planet, okay, when they first incarnated. And then it followed, each one of these is 1,300 years, so here you got the first 13,000 years completed. Then you have the end of the Dragon Genesis and the beginning of the Monkey Genesis. And the Monkey Genesis moves through here. And then when you get to this point right here, the Monkey Moon Genesis Magic Flight, this is the beginning of history. This is the beginning of civilization. The last 4 units here are the last 5,200 years. And so right here, it says enter here. Right here it says 2013. We're in this last unit right here, which started 713 AD and runs to 2013 AD. And so we're in this very final phase of this
I mean, all of
Genesis.
us are.
Yeah, all of us are there right now. Or over here you can find, here's your blue again, your three bars and 4 dots, and you can see where you are in the galactic solar code. And this Dreamspell Genesis part over here has to do with correcting the course of the planet, and if you might say the planetary karma. This 019. This is the game that we'll be playing when we really move past the year 2000, and this is the solar game. This is the game of the solar system, and you find here that you're associated with solar Pluto, and there again is that S omega, just like you saw it there, another clue. But that's part of the game plan. You have to discover that.
I see. So that's
Okay.
So there's a mystery play
the
within
mystery,
it for
the
you to
Yeah.
find out,
future mystery.
because
Yeah, there's a lot of, because we're talking a lot, and to some ways, you know, we know more about this than anyone else because we created this.
Pragmatically play it with a couple of friends?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
would you suggest?
Yeah,
the
just you
process
start
would-
finding out. You start finding out your galactic signature. Start with that,
Yes.
and then begin to map your cross relations on the journey board, and then also track every day on the journey board.
Really? So you
So
keep
for
track
today-
of your calendar.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's
So
like
let's
a-
look at it now as just a
Uh-huh.
calendar and
So-
see where we actually are
So we
today.
we keep track of ourselves on this on a
Yeah.
daily
Right.
basis.
Yeah.
And because
I
of
see.
the fact that we can look at where we are today, you're going to see how there might be a resonance that you'll just feel by waking up in the morning, this morning.
Okay.
If you had been already on the dream spell, you know that you're a 1, the 1 position of the 13-tone wave spell in a blue. Well, lo and behold, today is the day blue magnetic night. So you would know from having started the play that today a blue 1 day is going to be interesting for you because it's guided by its own power doubled. And in this case, the blue solar seal is night
Ah.
that carries the power of abundance. So the position and the color are the same as your galactic signature.
If you look here, this is the blue magnetic night. Is the heads off the blue wave spell in the yellow castle, and you look over here, blue magnetic storm heads off the blue wave spell in the white castle. So you begin, what you actually begin to do is you begin to feel the resonances and the different cross connections
Wow.
that exist both within your, both with your, with yourself and the whole process of the galactic spin, as well as with yourself and all of your relations. You map all of your relations. You can find events in your life, important dates in your life. You can find historic dates and events. You can find historic characters. We've started doing something called the 5 castles of rock and roll, where you begin to start saying, start mapping out the rock and roll people who created rock and roll and put that in there, or start mapping out the history of Marxism from Karl Marx to Gorbachev and seeing the role where they end up on the journey board and what relationships they actually have to each other. And then you begin to see, oh, well, in actuality, the dice were loaded. There's a lot more connections that exist than we're aware of, and we have to, as I said, this is all new. This is you're not going to. It's like in some ways we're lucky that we got your video camera here, because it's like the parable or the aphorism. You can't describe an apple to someone who never ate one. You have to give them the apple to eat if they're going to get it. And so that's the same with the dream spell. At least you're seeing on the camera here the colors of it, but you can't really get it until you do it. Okay,
Right.
and it's never been done before on this planet. You've never seen this before on this planet, so this is new. But once you start doing it and others are doing it, you will see that Dreamspell culture, or galactic culture, really is here. This is the next phase. This is the next wave. This is how we're going to close out this galactic evolutionary cycle in a very clean manner. We're going to clean up the planet, and we're going to celebrate it. And we're going to celebrate it for a long time.
All right. Great. Well, if we put our friends on, we all, we can really begin to look at our relationships with each other and see how we can play
Absolutely.
together and cleaning up the planet and having a good time
Exactly,
doing it.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so the analogy's been like galactic Tupperware parties, okay?
So
And
you
it's
come out and
each
play
one teach
Dreamspell
one.
together.
Each one teach
Uh-huh.
one. So it's a hands-on process, and it's a self-discovery process. So you don't need anyone else to tell you how to do it or how to interpret it. It's for you to track your own relationships. So it's definitely a tool of self-empowerment. And once you get your galactic signature, you've been enlisted by the Galactic Federation,
You're
which is
part
the
of it.
higher
Mhm.
ordering
I'm part of it,
principle.
yeah.
Absolutely. And in playing the game, playing the game with others, you actually increase your synchronicity, and you hook yourself up to fourth
That's
dimensional
been your
time.
experiences you've had some
100%
like what kind of
increase.
experiences have you had from playing this game on an experiential?
Just phenomenal experience that synchronicity is not an exception. It's actually the norm, and
Give
every moment
couple
has
of
synchronicity.
instances a couple of instances of how magical this is in terms of our own life experience. Okay, we developed this game and we got it clear in the last couple of years. We found out that, like for instance, my galactic signature is blue spectral monkey, and Lloydine's galactic signature is white solar wind. But we tracked back and decided to check out a couple of things. We went back and said, well, what was the day that we went down to the Boulder County Courthouse and actually got married with all of our kids there? And we went and looked at that, and lo and behold, that day was blue solar monkey. It was my galactic seal and Lloydine's galactic tone. Okay, so it was that was an amazing crossover. And then another one.
Another one was a Valentine's Day event that just happened, because we got to Valentine's Day, and we remembered when I had brought Jose a bunch of beautiful red azaleas on Valentine's Day about a month after we had met. We said, I wonder what that date was on the galactic system. And sure enough, I found out that the day, February 14th in 1981, a month after we met, and I brought Jose flowers, was my galactic signature day, white solar wind. So that's the kind of thing that happens to you. You find out you actually have been on this time all along. And all it does is show you that in the way of the fourth dimension, we have actually never been separated from our fourth dimensional circuits. We have not been aware of them. That's why we were talking about amnesia. So this is a tool to open up our memory circuits.
Remembering. It's
Remembering.
a tool for memory. Very much.
Right.
Could you say a little bit more about July 26th of this year and what that means?
Okay,
and what we
July-
can expect or not
July
expect?
26th. Now, you'll find that on the perpetual 13-moon calendar, the first day of the year is always 7/26, July 26th. That's day one of the magnetic moon. Okay, that day is always a Sunday. Okay, on this conversion, on the 13-moon conversion calendar. So, this year, it will be magnetic moon. It'll be day one of the magnetic moon. It will be 13 storm. Okay. Now on the Gregorian calendar, it just so happens that this year, July 26th is also a Sunday. In other words, you have a window that's open where the galactic calendar, the 13-moon calendar, and the Gregorian calendar are synchronized, okay, on that date, so that we can move right into a time shift at that point. A time shift means that we're moving from the consciousness of a 12-month year, 60-minute hour timing frequency to a 13 moon, 20 wave spell, 20 solar tribes of time timing frequency, and that will be the initiating point of that. The Earth is already on 1320 timing frequency. The human species is out of phase, and so by connecting with the Earth and with ourselves at that time, at the time shift, that we will begin to be in conscious phase with the Earth. By that time there will be thousands of people who are following this calendar, and that's all you need for the first wave of the evolutionary shift for the species, is for a critical mass of only several thousands to be moving on that particular wavelength. Along with that, there will be many others, perhaps millions or billions of other people, just as with the harmonic convergence, will be aware of that moment happening and will also begin to move into that awareness. The 13-moon calendar will be implemented and adopted by increasing numbers of people over the next few years until it has become the timing standard, replacing the Gregorian calendar that we now have. Also, I would say that personally what we are putting out for prior to the time shift, so that people can begin to experience it, we invite scientists, mathematicians, genuine thinkers and seekers of truth of all kinds to check this out for themselves. This is the truth. This is fourth dimensional time and fourth dimensional mathematics. Second, we are also inviting all people to join with us in going on a galactic strike for Mother Earth from July 13th to July 26th. This strike, again, which you can look at. You can look at it as a strike if you're inclined that way, or you can look at it as taking your emergency human vacation between July 13th and July 26th and experience a 13-day wave spell and really celebrate the time shift.
So you get into the new paradigm.
Yes.
Exactly.
There's only one way to do it.
How would you
There's only one way to do it.
suggest doing that?
So we are actually putting out that enough people who experience the dream spell will understand what the 13-day wave spell looks like and will create in their regions, however they can, a celebration to go over the 13 days. So the invitation is out that this system, this mathematical system, is to be played and to have fun with, and the time shift is the perfect synchronization on a Sunday. And it's good to realize that we're coming up already on a lot of dates. The Eco Summit is happening, everything is moving, and this is an all-encompassing process. So the dream spell does not discount any current activity. It says, let's put it in a higher level, higher intelligence timing frame, which brings everything into synchronization. So the 13-day celebration will evolve itself, because it's already in the dream spell, what that wave spell looks like precisely as we move into the cosmic storm.
So in other words,
It's actually one complete wave spell, because Cosmic Storm, the day July 26, 1992, completes a 13-day wave spell, which also includes the free day, the green day, which isn't counted on any of the calendars. So there's one day when you completely liberate yourself from all calendar systems and have a real jubilation.
I think that's all I was going to add to that, is that by knowing where that wave spell is, it's wave spell 3 on your journey board, and you can read through on the Book of Canaan, you can follow it through on the Adventure Wave Spell Template, and with your intuitive creative process and your growing number of friends who are also in the Galactic Federation with you, you will know what to do on each of those days so that you synchronize with others around the planet. What will happen is that you will realize that we have created the first telepathic forum on this planet by celebrating the time shift, by taking the emergency human vacation and doing this for 13 days.
Spell-a-thon.
Yes.
That's good.
Fun to do it on television.
Yeah. So I don't know, it
Yeah.
feels like we should do a little break
Yeah, let's
point
take a
here.
break now. My
Right.
battery's down on this one.
I must have known, the battery's running out. I can
Yeah.
feel it, our batteries are running out.
Yeah,
a
that's
little
good.
bit.
That's quite a major download that you've given on the dream spell.
Well, see, you have to understand that before you can actually do any video work around it or anything, it's actually like the kind of thing where nothing's done in the abstract. So it's like once you understand the dream spell, then whatever you manifest is in the play of it.
Right.
It's not us, okay? It isn't. Jose and Lloydine Arquelles just happened to be these instruments that this whole thing came through, and we mean that literally. The invitation is out for everyone to play and see how it manifests for
God,
them.
man, it looks like a lot of
So-
work just getting that together like this.
It was, well, a couple of years in retreat.
The
Giving
amazing
up all
thing is that all those
preconceptions.
the parts didn't come until the last 3 months, and they just came like magic.
Yeah? Huh. So how long
Because
is
that came because we had worked and gotten the codes down, and then the parts were there.
And you have to know that already the dream spell is out around the planet, and already the Spanish translation is in production, and there's already groups in Mexico, all over the major cities of Mexico, who are doing dream spell play. So that's why we speak with such confidence in this process, because it's already happening faster than we could imagine.
And
So the only limitation when you start to play dream spell is that your own inability to relax with it and enjoy it, because the sky's the limit. There's no stopping. We still study it every day. That's why we know that it's a kind of truth system where you can't own the truth. This is a gift, and it keeps expanding. We still study
The
it.
interesting thing is that you really can't. We can't get to the more advanced levels of play until other people are there to go with us.
some fun people to play with?
Yeah, well, as I said, yeah, we can't advance more until others get to these more advanced phases. So, on the one hand, we're happy to go around with our planetary pilgrimage being the Johnny Appleseeds of the dream spell, because the more players we get around the planet, because what we've discovered is it appears to be true that telepathy is the electricity of the fourth dimension, just as electricity has replaced telepathy in the third dimension. And that as we move into the 1320 timing frequency and the galactic Earth timing, and become in phase with that again, that like the dolphins, we will begin to experience our own collective unity through forms of telepathic knowing that seem at this point to be really far out or far fetched or in the future, but really are not at all. It's just a matter of getting in sync.
Great.